Welcome to the Playbook for Amazon podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Lieber, and the goal of this podcast is to share what's working today that's helping my company, Turnkey Product Management, sell over 8 figures per year on Amazon for our clients. We will share with you the actionable steps, systems, and playbook that you can plug into your business to boost your sales on Amazon. Let's go. We talk to overwhelmed business owners every day. They feel like there's never enough time in their day, their to-do list feels like a mile long, and they don't know where to start. And so we typically start out by asking them 2 basic questions. Number 1, do you have a team? Do you have any team members that you can free yourself up and hand stuff off to? And then number 2, do you have the systems in place for them to follow those systems so that they can run effectively without you as the bottleneck? So usually you're missing one or both of those pieces, and there's probably some room for improvement on both sides. Number 1, we want to help identify the bottlenecks. So it's sort of just a matter of logging your time and identifying what are the top 1 or 2 or 3 things that are really taking up the most of your time, and especially those repeatable daily tasks or weekly tasks that you gotta do those tasks every day or week, and you're like, why am I doing this still? Why am I the only person that can do this task? And you want to help come up with a systemized solution. Until you realize what isn't working, you can't fix it. So step 1 is to identify what you want to fix or automate or delegate. And then most importantly, once you're clear on what task needs to get done, then you can figure out how to best teach someone else how to do it, and then you are no longer responsible for it. So here are a few examples that we see in the Amazon world. Like at our company, we're living and breathing Amazon every day. So here's some of the top systems that we've built standard operating procedures and systems around. And maybe some of these, might strike a chord with you, but I need to work on that one. So number 1, customer service. Pretty much every company under the sun has customer service, especially if you're selling on Amazon or on your website, on Shopify. And that's something where if you don't have templates or things for a team member to follow, like a FAQ is a great place to start for a customer service person, then that's a great place to start. If you are the business owner and still conducting and performing the customer service replies day in and day out, that is a common thing that we see with a lot of people that contact our company, and that's absolutely one of the best places to start. Number 2 is inventory management, right? So inventory planning, inventory projections, creating shipments. There are a lot of qualified people out there that are great at Microsoft Excel and great at logistics, and that's something that can definitely be conducted by someone else on the team. Next is running promotions, running growth strategies. So we've got different strategies, some that we run on a daily basis for our clients, some are on a monthly basis, some are on a quarterly basis. And so having a systematic way to follow those. Checking reviews, checking seller feedback, right? Those are repeatable tasks. And if you're doing that yourself, again, this is something that you can document and have another team member perform those tasks. And that's going to free you up to do more larger, higher dollar things. Next is PPC advertising management. That's a very, very specialized technical task, and there are a lot of people and companies out there that can do that for you. So if you're doing that yourself, would definitely recommend getting that off of your plate. We hear that one so often that we actually carved out at our company that, hey, if you want us to only do PPC management only, we'll do that, because we just get that request so much. They're like, well, I don't need help with this. I just need PPC, to be handled and grown by someone else. And so that's definitely an area I would recommend. If you're the business owner, manage that yourself, I would recommend trying to find someone or some company to hand that one off to. Okay, so those are just some of the areas that I wanted to highlight. So now let's dive into how to develop the standard operating procedure, right? So step 1 is identify what the task is. Step 2 is creating that procedure. So here's a really simple way to do it. This is one of my favorite ways. I do it probably a few times a week. So number 1 is I like to record a video of myself doing the task. So I'll literally do the task step by step and narrate it. And you can use different like screen capture or video softwares out there, and a lot of them are free. So one free one is called Loom, Loom. Another one is Zoom, Zoom. And then another one that I recently purchased and is nice is called Screencast-O-Matic. It has a few more features. It's really easy to annotate and mark it up and share it. I think they have a free version, but I think they also have a paid version that gets you more features and longer videos. But it doesn't matter which one that you use. The key is if you can give someone a visual step-by-step, walkthrough of, let's say, checking seller feedback, right? If you're doing that, you can literally record yourself that, okay, this is how I check seller feedback. I'm logging into sellercentral.amazon.com. And then I click on this button, right? And you narrate, and it's going to take a little bit longer. You're going to want to, take your time and, clearly explain it, but you literally are narrating step by step. So then I click here, and then I click on the seller feedback, and then I scan the first page, right? And I see, are there any seller feedbacks that are 3 stars or less, right? And then if there are, then I read it, I document it. And then if it's not a true seller feedback, if it's a product review, like if they wrote, oh, this product sucks, like it ran out of battery and the battery died and doesn't work anymore, like piece of crap, right? So sometimes people leave that in seller feedback. And those seller feedbacks can be removed from Amazon, right? You can contact Amazon and request removal because that is a product review. That's not a seller feedback. And so then I'll actually show in recording the video, how do I request the removal of that seller feedback, right? And I go all the way from A to Z until the task is completely done, and then I document, where I record it. Maybe I record, okay, I did it through up to date through the end of this month, right? So then it's documented when I last did it, so that the next time I do the task or someone else does the task, they know, okay, I only need to do it from the month after Jeff said he last did it. Once you have that screen capture video, now in theory, it's like that's really the biggest step. If you just do that, people can even just follow that video along. But to take that to the next step, what I would recommend doing is just having another team member watch the video, and then they can actually write out the step-by-step into a document, like a Google document or a Word document. I do recommend using a Google document or some sort of cloud-based document so that multiple team members can do it. It's not like a local Word doc on your computer. So I do recommend using some sort of Google Doc or something along those lines. Once they go through that, like they can, write down, okay, step 1, log into Seller Central. Step 2, so now they have a written standard operating procedure, right? And you can do this yourself as well if you want to. You can do it best. It's fine if you do it, but I let my other team members take a crack at it, and then I'll review the standard operating procedure after they're done, and I'll make sure that that it met, that it's clear and followed all the steps that I recommended. So that's a really, really critical step. Another bonus step would be if you have another team member on your team that's maybe not familiar with how to conduct that task, you can ask them, hey, here's a written SOP, and then here's a video. I want you to perform this task and just follow the instructions, and then see if they can do it strictly by following that with no other instruction. And if they have to ask you any questions, if they stop during the middle, like, I can't find this, or, I wasn't sure, I got stuck here. Well, then all that means is that, the SOP or the video missed a step. But that's a good thing. You identified it, and then now you can add to it. So our SOPs actually evolve over time. That they rarely stay the same. We're always improving them, adding screenshots and adding more clear instructions. So that's a really, really good way to do that. An optional step is if you are really building these out, you can send it to like a designer that can make it look professional and nice so that it's really well done. That's what we do at our company, but you certainly don't have to do that. And then, so once you do that, now you've got a standard operating procedure for how to monitor and remove seller feedback, right? And now you can hand it off to a team member and tell them how often you want them to do it. And the key is to follow up with that person and check in with them a couple of times to make sure that they're doing it, and reinforce their behavior. If they're doing it well, you want to catch them doing it and say, hey, I saw you did that. You removed those 2 seller feedbacks. Awesome job. That I really appreciate you doing that. Keep up the good work. And then that's going to help really reinforce that they're going to do that going forward. And if they didn't do it, if they forgot to do it, then it's like, hey, I saw you didn't do this. I know it's a new thing. What can we do to make sure that this happens every week, right? Maybe that's a weekly task that you want them to do. So, and that leads me to my next point. So the next thing to take it to the next level is to use like a project management software. So at our company, we like using Asana. That's a great project management software. There's other ones out there like Basecamp and even stuff like Trello. And so there's a lot of different ones out there. So it's whatever you're comfortable with. But the next step would be to take that task and standard operating procedure and put it into your project management software so that you can delegate it to those people on your team and track that they're getting it done. So I want you to just take a second and think about the alternative to the steps I just said. How have you been conducting yourself and delegating to team members, right? We hear a lot of companies like, oh, I've got a team member, but they're not very good. They just don't do a good job. They don't do what I want them to do. And if you dig in and think about it, well, did you give them clear instructions? Do they know how to do it? Like, have they done it before? Did you just verbally tell them like, hey, remove the seller feedback once a week, right? And that's it. And you cross your fingers and walk away and then don't check it for 2 months, right? Or did you help them put a system in place and check up on them a couple of times to make sure that it is getting done and getting done on time? That would be my advice. I mean, installing systems in your business is one of the keys is to really not get overwhelmed and try to systematize everything all at once. I would really just recommend starting where you are, choose one, just do one at a time, right? It's going to take time to do this. It might take weeks, it might take months to systematize a lot of the core tasks in your business, but just focus on one at a time, focus on the most time-sucking ones that are, that you hate doing yourself, or that something's not getting done correctly, and, really look into that system and take it to the next level. Hopefully that was helpful. It's really been the game changer at our company. We hired a couple people that just were very systems minded people, and they really helped take our systems and standard operating procedures to the next level. And now like our SOPs literally is one of our biggest assets. It's how we're able to help so many different companies, because we have the SOPs and repeatable tasks and repeatable strategies that we can have multiple team members on our team executing really, really well. And actually with those SOPs, that's why we hear that feedback so much, so often. So that's actually why we launched recently, I don't know if you guys saw it, but we launched an Amazon Growth Strategies Accelerator. And we took 8 of our best growth strategies that we have on Amazon, and we built super detailed SOPs. We built training videos for each one, so that anyone that goes through that, and they can just take all 8, or maybe they just want to try 2 or 3 of those strategies, and they can hand them off to a team member. They don't have to do anything. They just let their team member go through the video, look at the SOP, implement it, and they're getting amazing results. That's the power of standard operating procedures and systems in your business. So I highly recommend that you install that in your own business. Or if you want the shortcut and just want to use ours, you're welcome to do that. You can head over to turnkeyproductmanagement.com and learn about our accelerator and how to get our standard operating procedures from there. At a minimum, trying to have someone on your team that's really driving home, like, we need to install systems and build systems around the biggest recurring things in our business that help build our business and grow our business and manage the business. Then that's just going to make your life easier, and it's going to make your business bigger and more automated and more scalable. I hope that was really helpful, and thank you guys so much for listening.